Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Jay. I'm using the first letter of your first name for privacy purposes. Good to hear from you. So you did a speaking practice test number 1. So let's take a look at the question. It says, describe a place you visited as a child. What is your favorite memory while visiting this place? How would you score here? I think you're going to have some trouble on this particular speaking task. So let's take a look at the rubrics that the IBT uses to score this task. Let me click on a link really fast. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and paste this under the video too, so you can click on it yourself. Okay, so I think just on the general description of this, I'm going to evaluate you in terms of your general description, delivery, language use, and topic development, right? In the general description, I don't think you have really answered the question. So I'm going to score you lower than 2 on this one. So your response, you've not really organized your ideas around the speaking task. That's the biggest problem right here. The speaking task says, describe a place you visited. Now, it took you about 26 seconds into the speech where you actually mentioned the place, and you mentioned your uncle's ranch, right? But you didn't really describe it. You didn't tell me how big it was. Are there fences? Are there trees? Is there dirt there? Is there a river? Are there, different kinds of animals there? You didn't really say anything about your uncle's ranch at all that would help me see what it looks like. So you didn't answer that part of the question. The second part of the question is, what's your favorite memory while visiting this place? Notice how the question is singular, memory, not memories. You talked about really broad things. You talked about riding a horse, but gave no details. You talked about feeding animals, again, no details. You talked about spending time with your family without providing any details. You used a lot of things like great and good. We had great times, we had good company, or whatever, but you don't really have any specific ideas to support what you're trying to say. So your response is very limited in the sense that you're expressing very, very basic ideas there. Now, your grammar and your language use is also pretty basic. So you need to advance, I think, your grammar. You need much better vocabulary, I think, if you want to do better on this type of speaking task. So my advice would be, is instead of talking about all of these different things that you did when you went to your uncle's ranch, I would only do 2 things. Number 1, during the speaking task, I would describe as best I can in about 20 seconds what your uncle's ranch looked like. Number 2, I would talk about one specific memory. Maybe it was riding the horse. Then for the next 20 or 30 seconds of your speech, you only talk about riding the horse. You discuss that one specific idea, and you give a whole bunch of details to help support that one idea. Remember, the purpose is why it's your favorite memory. You see what I'm saying there? So you actually need a lot more specific details, I think, if you want to score higher on this type of speaking practice test. So your score here is about 14 points out of 30. And based on your practice test score here, I do have some suggested lessons I want you to focus on at my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. Are you ready? Here they are. Now, you can also click on the link underneath the video to see the lessons I suggest based on the score you got. Anyway, again, your score is 14 points out of 30. Vocabulary lesson 3, pronunciation lessons 1 through 24, grammar lesson 7, focus on the grammar and the ESL exercises. Also, I suggest you focus on speaking lesson number 1. Alrighty, anyway, thank you for recording your practice test, and I hope I've given you some good ideas to kind of move you forward. So now you have some good information, you can review some lessons, you can make some changes, and maybe tomorrow you can do another practice test. And I strongly encourage you, as long as you are a subscriber to my service, take at least take one practice test per day as long as you're a subscriber, and this is going to help you. And don't get frustrated. I'm giving you a low score right now, but you can do better. And this is why you subscribed to my service in the first place, right? Okay, thank you.